All right.
Hi, everyone. My name's Dan Antonoff. I'm Vice President of Sales at Euclid Technology. And today I'm joined by Michael Sortwell, who's our COO. Michael's going to start off, and I'm gonna mute for a while and come back in when we start getting into the demo itself. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Michael.
All right, thanks folks. We appreciate everyone taking some time this afternoon to learn a little bit about Euclid and our products. Just a quick overview of what we're gonna cover today. So I'm gonna start off talking just a little bit about our company, Euclid Technology. We do have two different AMS solutions. We have a solution called ClearVantage, which is best suited for mid-sized to large associations. And we also have another AMS called Member Connection, which is typically used by smaller growing associations, usually 10 staff or fewer. So we do have coverage for the whole association market as far as AMSs are concerned. I'll speak a little bit in the slides to the features and functionality that's available in ClearVantage and Member Connection that we think really makes us stand apart. And then probably for the second half or so of the demo, I'm going to turn it back over to Dan, and he's going to actually dive into the software and make sure everybody gets a good sense of the look and feel, how everything actually works in ClearVantage and the related web functionality. And then, of course, we will save some time at the end for questions and answers. I'm sure everybody is old hat at this by now, having sat through a bunch of these the last couple of days. But please feel free to put your question and answers in the question and answer box. And then we'll keep a little bit of time at the end so we can go back and make sure we get responses to all of those. So with that said, a little bit about Euclid Technology, what sets us apart as a company. One thing that we do incredibly well is build strong relationships with all of our clients. So we have actually over a 95% customer retention rate, which is a pretty incredible figure for our industry. One of the ways we've been able to do that is by being such a proven product. So Euclid Technology has been around since 1997. It's our 24th year in business. And a lot of our staff have actually been with the company for the majority of that time as well. So in terms of our staff, I would say the majority of our staff have been at Euclid at least 5 or 7 years. We have some staff, Dan is a great example of this, who's actually been here for over 20 years. I think it stands 22nd year right now. So with that, our staff has a lot of experience in the association industry, a lot of experience implementing and supporting AMS solutions. So the experienced team is really what helps us achieve that strong client relationship, that strong retention rate. I mentioned at the top that we do have two different AMS solutions, so we'll touch just quickly on those. ClearVantage, again, is our full-featured enterprise AMS solution, typically for medium to larger associations. Member Connection is our solution for smaller growing associations, usually 10 staff or fewer. Both of these AMS offerings are actually built on the same underlying technology. So everything we'll cover today that Dan and I will talk about is actually applicable to both software solutions. A lot of the difference really comes in terms of the implementation process itself. So ClearVantage implementations, usually a bit of a longer process, 6 to 8 months. We're often doing a lot of configuration or customization to make sure the system's set up to meet each client's unique business processes. Member Connection, you're getting a lot of the same underlying functionality, but typically clients are using the software a little bit more out of the box. We do have plenty of configurations and integrations available, but not typically to the extent that a ClearVantage client would use. But the great benefit of that is you get a lot of the features and functionality of an enterprise association within the budget that's reasonable for a smaller staffed association. So again, we're just going to show kind of one demo today, one slide deck. All of the features we'll cover are going to be applicable to both solutions. Another thing Dan and I really wanted to stress today, that's a real strength of ClearVantage and Member Connection, is our ability to allow clients to use the system however they feel it's best to be used. So we have a lot of features and functionality built directly into the system. You'll see some functionality listed below on the slide: events, communication tools like email marketing, communities and forums, continuing education management. Many of our clients are using all the functionality directly out of the AMS to manage 100% of their needs. But of course, we have some other clients who have third-party solutions that they're really familiar with, that they're very comfortable with, that they prefer to use. And in those cases, we're simply integrating with those third parties. So we're not going to tell you you have to use everything out of the system. We're not going to tell you you have to plug everything in. It's really the client's choice. So we work with the clients to figure out what the best solution is, whether it's using built-in functionality or maybe contacting a third-party vendor to plug in a piece via an integration. But the flexibility is really in the hands of the client. Before I turn things over to Dan, I wanted to talk about just a couple key functional areas that we think set Euclid Technology, ClearVantage, and Member Connection apart. One is our content management system, ClearVantage Connect. So we do have a fully out-of-the-box available content management system. So some of our clients are using ClearVantage Connect to manage their entire web presence. It is an all-in-one content management system, so you can do things like manage, of course, all of your web pages, but any images, videos, forums, articles, blogs, things like that can all be integrated and used out of ClearVantage. The great benefit of ClearVantage Connect is the integration that's there with ClearVantage and Member Connection out of the box. So things like security roles, for example, if you wanted to set up a web page on CV Connect that had only allowed your board members to access it, or resources that only your board members could access. That integration to plug in to pull those security settings based on information from the AMS is already built right in. And then going back to our theme of flexibility, we also allow clients using ClearVantage Connect to either choose their own template. We have 50 or so responsive templates to choose from, so they look great on any device, whether that be a smartphone, tablet, desktop. Or we do have some clients who work with outside design firms, come with entirely custom designs, and we'll implement those right into ClearVantage Connect. So again, we're trying to be as flexible as possible in terms of meeting our clients' needs in the way that they want them to be met. ClearVantage Echion is our integrated HTML email builder. So directly within ClearVantage or Member Connection, you can actually build your own HTML emails. You can send those emails out, and you can do all the tracking of the opens, the click-throughs, the bounces. All that reporting information is brought right back into the AMS. The tool's incredibly easy to use. You can see a GIF of it running in the top right corner. It's all drag and drop, so you can add in your images, you can customize the look and feel, change the colors, the fonts. You don't need any coding expertise to do that. It's all very user-friendly, again, responsive, just like the website, so it'll look great, the emails that go out on mobile phones or tablets, anything like that. And then just to touch again on all the tracking and reporting comes right back into the system. So you have all that integrated information in one place. Another one of our newer features that we're very, very excited about is our payment processing ability. So we now actually have a piece of software called Euclid Pay that will let you process payments, whether they're credit cards or ACH, directly out of the AMS. What you see on the left side of the screen is actually a dashboard from the AMS with specific payment processing information. And an incredible benefit of this Euclid Pay payment processing is the ease with which you can do reconciliation. So, oftentimes associations struggle when they're going out and they have to pull statements from Authorize, or they have to pull statements from PayPal, try and reconcile those against all the transactions that have come into the AMS. All of that information gets stored in one place when you're using Euclid Pay. So I have a dashboard open here where I can actually see on any given day all the transactions that came into the AMS, all the transactions of that day that were posted to accounting, and then from the payment processor, how much was actually deposited on that day. So it's very simple for me to go through if I'm in finance or accounting and make sure everything is matching up between transactions coming through my AMS and everything that's come through the payment processor. Additionally, of course, this is all PCI compliant, so you can rest easy knowing that any of the information that's coming in about your members, credit card information is all being stored securely. And it also supports automated recurring charges. So If you want to accept automated donations where a member can say, I want to give $15 a month rather than one larger donation, or if you wanted to let members sign up, give their credit card and say, just automatically renew me next year. All of that is supported. And it's an incredible benefit, not only to your association, because it's a great driver of revenue if you don't have to make people go through the process of renewing. It's a great way to increase your retention rate, but also ease of use for your members. They just need to put in their credit card information and sign up once. And as long as they're okay with it auto renewing, they don't have to go through the hassle of responding to a renewal notice each year. That'll all just be taken care of for them. These last two I'll touch on briefly because I know Dan is going to show them when we get into the software a little bit, but another piece we added recently was an advanced discount tool. You folks have all sat through a lot of demos today. I would hope every AMS you're seeing has the ability to offer discounts. The feedback we got from our members is they wanted more control to tailor those discounts. So our discount tool is actually going to let you define at a very granular level who's eligible for that discount. Is it just members? Is it all members of a certain type? Do you want to put together a custom list and say the discount's only available to those individuals? And then what are they eligible for? Is it a specific event, a specific product? Is it a whole category of events? Should it only be used once? Should it only be used one time per person? So you can set up almost any limitation or tailor the discount in almost any way to meet your needs. Once that discount is used, you can then track the full usage in your reporting directly out of the AMS. Lastly, and again, this is something Dan's going to cover, so I won't spend too much time on it, but reporting is obviously a major element of ClearVantage and member connection. So we allow folks to set up their personalized dashboards. That's what you're seeing on the screen. We also have a powerful query tool. Any piece of information we're tracking can really be included in queries and searches, and our own integrated report writer. And the same thing is true there. If we're capturing the information, you can include it in a report that you're writing. You know, it's critical for us not just to make sure our association clients can capture information, but that any of that information can be reported on. So with that said, I will stop talking and turn it over to Dan so he can show us some of the good stuff, and we'll take a look at the software itself.
Great. That's a good segue. Thanks, Michael. Okay, folks. Well, we didn't want to just talk all day. We did want to show you and tell you a little bit about what's different about Euclid and some of the features that we offer, but let's get right into the reporting aspects. So there's a lot of talk these days about dashboards and how valuable they are and so on. So here's actually a dashboard that I use on a regular basis. You'll see here it's got some reports. It's also got things that I'll do regularly down below, whether it's work that I'm knocking out during the day as kind of the CRM aspect of the software or meetings that I have and so on. But you can see here's a report that I'm going to take a look at. These reports are dynamic. As Michael mentions, it's an integrated report writer. And so that means everything is happening in real time and I can click in and out of certain information. And while these are great looking charts, it's always important to be able to say, hey, what's driving this data? So, or driving these charts. And here you can see he selects the data tab and it says, okay, these are the real numbers behind any of those charts. So whether you're looking at a graph like this, whether you're looking at pie charts and so on, you'll always be able to find what's actually driving any of these reports. So again, this is a nice feature to have here. But we're going to take a look at some other dashboards that are available. And so just as an example here, let's go here. These are some different dashboards that I set up in the system. And I'm going to take a look at an events dashboard. So if I was someone on an events team, or if I was someone in the events department, and I wanted to see information that's relevant to events, just to events, I can set up a dashboard that includes that information. And so you can see here some reports that are giving me the latest information, the most up-to-date information about what's going on with the events that we're hosting, how people are registering, when they're taking place, and so on. Very simple to move information around. If I want a report to be larger and so on, I can certainly drag and drop a report. I can blow reports up. I can make reports standalone, and if I want them to just have their own page, I can make it a standalone report and so on. So that's a really nice feature as well. I can certainly go here and add a report to an existing dashboard. And simply come in here and say, let's add a report. And these are the reports that are available here. So I'll go ahead and add a report to this particular dashboard, and it's great. So that's fine, and everything looks good here as far as that's concerned. So you can see I added a new report to this existing dashboard. But another nice feature about these dashboards and the reporting capabilities is that you can create your own dashboards. And this doesn't take administrative rights. The things we've been doing here do not require administrative rights. So let's go ahead and create a brand new dashboard. We're going to just call it the Demo Days dashboard, and we'll create it. And you'll see it's just a blank screen. These reports that we're looking at are reports that when they were brought into the system from our repository of hundreds of reports from the marketplace, where we created those reports, I was subscribed to them. So it's not like this is every report in the system. There may be information that I shouldn't see. I wouldn't be subscribed to reports that I shouldn't be able to see. These are the reports that are available to me, and I'm building out a dashboard here. So you'll see now, we add a few reports to this particular dashboard, close this up, and we've got a brand new dashboard that we've saved in the system. Now I can add more reports, but another nice feature to this, let's say I was in membership and I wanted to share this particular report with other people. Now you'll see here, I can share it and keep it private. I can share it with everyone in the organization if I choose, or I can share it just with certain individuals. Again, maybe it's the membership department. So we're going to share it. In this case, we'll share it with Charlie, we'll share it with Joe. And that way, when those folks log into the system, they'll both have access to another dashboard. And of course, they can configure it the way they want it once it's been added into the system. Again, Michael said this a little bit earlier, just about these dashboards. It's an integrated report writer. If it's in the system, we can query on it. If it's in the system, we're tracking it. We can create reports on that information. Okay, we're going to take a look now. Let's go ahead and we're going to open up an individual record in the system here. Now we could do some searching and so on, but for the sake of time, we want to be able to show you that as much as we can. So we're just going to bring open a record that was bookmarked. And in this case, it's a member called Marcia Tucker. Now we try and use as much visual indication as we can in the system. So one of those visual indicators is as soon as we open this record, you see green, and with that green, I know that we're seeing someone that's an active member. And another feature here that lots of folks are looking for these days, and that's built into the system, is this engagement scoring. Again, this is showing as a number. If you'd prefer it as a bar, we can show it as an engagement bar and so on. So that's very simple to do as well. It's just another feature that you can add to this view. When it comes to engagement scoring, it's really up to your organization what goes in, what are the factors of engagement scoring. So here's an example. One of the things that we look at in Marcia's record is that she's really active in our community. As a member community, she's in there quite a bit. She's doing a lot of different things. So we're going to use that as one of the factors in her engagement scoring. We can also use things like how many times is she taking advantage of volunteer opportunities, or how many committees does she sit on. We can talk about, we can take into consideration how many events or donations, or is she blogging and so on as part of the community. So we can manage all of that as part of that record and that engagement scoring. Now, before we leave Marcia's record, I want to show you something else that you can do in the system. And this goes right back to the reporting capabilities and allowing our clients to do things on their own. So we're going to make some changes to this record, and you'll see how simple it is using our tool that we've got here. This is kind of the toolkit for changes. Now, when I scroll down here, you'll see on the right side, these are the fields that I was currently looking at in this case, in Marcia's record. So I opened up an individual record, and those are all the fields that are included in that record. On the left side in this toolbox, these are the fields that are available to me. Now we can relabel any of these fields. Very simple. We're about to drag and drop some fields in and out, and you'll see that. There's user-defined fields that we can use and so on. But let's make some changes here to this particular record. So first of all, most of you as an organization probably aren't tracking ICO. So let's forget it. Let's take it out of there. We're going to add something called an occupation code because we're interested in Marcia or other members, kind of what their job is. That way we can communicate with just those folks. Also, you'll see how simple it is to relabel fields in the system. So if your organization doesn't like birth date, but you prefer something like date of birth, and we can make that a required field, and that'll stand out for us, and we'll know we need to include it. So we're getting the idea about changing some of the look and feel, but not just that. We can come down here. Again, when I logged in, this determines what I see, and you'll see here, maybe I'm someone that shouldn't have access to financial information. So let's get rid of those invoices so that when I log into ClearVantage, I don't see invoices and payments. I do a lot with awards. So that should be part of my view, my role in the system. So now we've determined what I can see. We also determined what I can do. And I'm someone who in the system does a lot of donation work. I do fundraising and donation. So I want to have enter donations as part of my view, something I can get. I want to make it so easy to get to that I'm going to create this kind of quick access to it. So we'll go here and this activity quick button. And now when we save this, you'll see here, we've saved this to a role. And when I log into ClearVantage now, those roles determine what I see and what I can do. So again, we've taken away that financial information, so there's no invoices and payments. You can see that we added the awards capabilities. There's that enter donation quick button. So if I am working with donations, I can get to it very quickly and enter that information. And if we scroll down here, we'll see there's that occupation field that we dragged in and we relabeled that field there. So this is really putting in for the ability for you folks to manage your own system right in your hands. You don't have to come running back to Euclid. The clock isn't ticking all the time. You don't have to get in touch and submit tickets when you want to make changes that you folks can make on your own. Well, while we're here in Marcia's record, let's take a look very quickly. We can see she's affiliated with a group called ABC Company. And so let's take the shortcut to go see the company that she's affiliated with. We could have done a search and found ABC Company, but instead we're going to take a shortcut to do that. So this looks a lot like an individual record, but there are differences here. This is an organization record. And you can see here, one of the things that's different is here are those contacts that are affiliated. Everyone we know about don't necessarily have to be members, but those are the contacts. If it's a large organization, you'll see here, here's all of those sub-organizations or subsidiaries or branches or divisions. And so we're tracking what's going on with those divisions. We're also tracking not just those companies and those subsidiaries, but also the individuals at those subsidiaries. Everything that we do in our system tracks individuals back up to the organization level. So you can see we knew about 126 people there at ABC. When we added all those subsidiaries, that number really jumps up over 300. So a lot of capabilities as far as that's concerned. Again, we've done a few things here. The last thing I want to show you here is we were looking at dashboards, and there's different places in the system where you can go ahead and look at reports. But here's another place where you can look at reports, whether you're in an individual record, an organization record, an event record, and so on. You can store reports directly within here. So now I'm not interested in what's going on in the entire system. I'm just interested in what's going on in this case with ABC. And they've got an engagement score, and everything below that engagement score is just backup for the total event registrations, the total number of times that ABC or their subsidiaries have been an exhibitor, people that sit on committees and donations, and that gives us a total engagement score. And again, what's below it is just the backup information for all that. So again, this goes right back to being able to manage reporting capabilities right within the system and place them. Very simple to place reports where you want them. It's just very simple drag and drop there. So that's kind of what the system looks like on the inside. This is you folks sitting, whether it's at your desks at home or your desks at your office or on your phones and managing the system. Let's take a look at, we're looking at Marcia's record. So let's take a look now at from a web aspect. So this is Marcia. Now we logged in just for the sake of time, but she comes to your website and she logs in. Once again, dashboards. The idea is dashboards because we hear a lot of, well, our members will never do it. But if you have these dashboards set up, you can see here right off the bat, again with the visual indicators, there's some red stuff. Marcia, your membership is overdue. Pay that membership. She just clicks on that and pays her membership. You've got some upcoming events that you should remember about. So don't forget about that. And so here we are looking at those upcoming events. And also, hey, there's a conference you might be interested in. We're using what you've done in the past or taxonomy to track, hey, you might be interested in some upcoming events as well. So really, as regards to events, this is always interesting because yesterday there was talk about this in the follow-up conversation that Reggie and Retta and Peter led, and it was, this can be a real challenge. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to register some people very quickly. I don't want to get too far into this, but let's go ahead. And in this case, it might take certain rights to do this. Marcia has primary rights, so she can come into your website and register other people from her organization. So let's do that very quickly. You can see here, she's going to go ahead. She'll search for people in the system. These are people in her organization if you want them to be. So let's get Kenneth squared away here. She can update information about Kenneth. She can tell us about his, if he has any special needs and so on. She can register him for any of the sessions that he might be attending after she puts the pricing in. Now it's just going to show pricing that's applicable to Kenneth. So there probably would only be one or two prices here. And then she says, look, he's also going to go to a pre-conference workshop if we want to. And now we'll go ahead and we'll just check out. Now, Michael talked about that, those specialty, those discount codes before. We could enter those discount codes here, and those would apply. You can see here, what's really nice about this as we check out here is the fact that now we could go add someone else. And just for the sake of time, we're going to move through because we're getting a little bit short here. But we're going to check out here. Marcia's going to get a nice response page. She's going to go ahead and say, yep, everything looks good here. So let's go ahead and check out. And we check out here and gives you some different payment options. Do you want to pay by credit card? Some of our clients say, hey, you can bill me. We can do electronic transfers. But we'll go ahead, just do the bill me. We'll place this order. And now Marcia will get this response page. She'll also get an email. But so will Kenneth, saying, hey, you know what, Kenneth, Marcia went ahead and registered you for this upcoming annual conference. You should go ahead and log in, update any information, sign up for any additional tours that you might want to go to, adjust your badge, and so on. So all of that functionality is right there within the system. Just another very quickly, a couple of nice features here. We've got, if you take a look at, we'll just look at some featured products, for instance. And with these features brought in, very modern looking shopping cart here. Recognizing someone who's, in this case, Marcia, who's logged in. So it's going to give her the appropriate discount. It's telling you, you'll get discounts if you become a member and so on. If you are doing an organization that does a lot of fundraising and donations, we have a lot of clients who do a lot of different types of donations. So you'll see here, we've got some different funds. For instance, this first 100 Women Fund, maybe it's a specific fund that you really want people to donate to. It could be a more general fund. We do everything from, hey, would you like to give $10 or make a PAC donation, right on through to moves management. And we've had clients who do all of that. So that's really, I know that's a quick look at what your staff are seeing and what your members are seeing, but we just wanted to give you an idea about the look and feel of the software and not just talk about it so much either. So I'm going to turn it back over to Michael.
All right. Well, we are coming up on time. I did want to just quickly touch on, before we wrap up, some of the things, again, that we think really set us apart. That high-touch nature, having that experienced staff, the flexibility to meet your needs in the way that you want them met, whether that's doing things within the software or going out and setting up integrations. And just the fact that we are a true AMS. So we had a question what the platform's built on. They're both SQL databases, but we are not built on an outside platform. We developed this product from the ground up. Everything we do is related to associations in the AMS world. And with that, I think we can have a minute or two for questions. I did want to make sure everyone had Dan and I's contact information, so that's here on the screen. And we also set up a special web page for demo days. So if you go to our website at euclidtechnology.com/demo days, you can get in touch with us and get some more information. But thanks again, folks, for taking time today. I know everyone sat through a lot of these demos already, so we appreciate your time. And I don't know, Reggie, I think we're probably coming up on time for questions. I do see there is one, how different or similar is member connection for smaller associations? Do the dashboards look the same and work the same? They do. Exactly the same. Everything Dan showed today in terms of how the dashboards work and function is the same for member connection.
Yeah. And just very quickly, in case anyone, because I know that there's a couple of questions about what's the underlying technology. It's built on Microsoft SQL Server. And so easy integration points as far as that's concerned.
Well, good, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah, I think you guys got all the questions that I see for sure. So again, thanks for being here. You guys have always been there in the association community and providing support, so we really appreciate that.
Great. Thanks very much, Reggie.
Thanks,
All right,
Reggie.
my friend. See you guys soon.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.